And Pepper also relocated to us from a zoo in Holland but a little bit longer ago. Everybody, everybody, let's make Pepper very welcome. Now at the moment, Pepper is learning a behaviour known as a corkscrew, and that's just where Pepper will jump out of the water and spin around in the air. This is a way of showing you just how powerful these animals are in their front flippers. In the wild, it'd be very simple. It'd be very simple for a seal to quickly jump out of the water and change direction if they're trying to escape a predator or chase down a prey.
See them swirling around.
If they change direction.
Wow.
Now the pole that you can see in Keeper Andrew's hands is known as a target pole. When it's presented to them, our seals know that they're meant to touch their nose on the end of that pole. One of the first behaviours we teach here at Seal Theatre is to target, and that's just where we present our hands and the seals touch their nose on the end of their hand. However, in a behaviour like this, where we can't reach our hands out far enough to move the seal into the behaviour that we want, the target pole is just an extension of our hands, and the seals know that the same thing at the end of the target pole is what we want them to do when we present our hands.
I like this one. Very big.
Whoa, it's so big.
Very talented.
Because he's a fully mature seal, a big grown-up seal.
Now you might recognise the California sea lion. That's because it's the world's most common seal that you'll see in presentations all over the world. And that's because Californian sea lions are very work-driven seals. They love to learn new things and they're always interested and want to keep going with their training sessions. Cisco, who you saw before, is a very work-driven seal. But Pepper, who you can see here, is also work-driven, but he's also one of the most sweet seals we have here at Seal Theatre. He loves pets and he loves spending time with his keeper, Ange. Well, I think Pepper did a great job. Let's give a big round of applause. Thanks, buddy. Now all the seals we've seen so far are sea lions, and that means they have one layer of fur. But the next seal we'll be meeting is a New Zealand fur seal. His name is Abel, and he was found on Kurnell Beach with a large shark wound in his side. Luckily, our vet team and marine team rescued him and took him to our wildlife hospital, but sadly just back anyway.
Came back.
Now this is just a good demonstration of the fact that our seals aren't robots. They're allowed to do whatever they want whenever they like. And if Pepper doesn't feel like going home, we definitely won't force him to. And especially him being a 270 kilogram animal, there's no forcing him to do anything anyway.
That was funny.
Say another one. Hello.
Alright, well let's hope Pepper's home so we can introduce our next animal. As I mentioned, Abel was rescued by a wildlife hospital, but sadly due to the amount of time he spent in our care, he lost a lot of the hunting and socialization skills needed for a seal in the wild. So Abel came down here to Seal Theatre to be an ambassador for his species. Now when Abel comes out here, you'll notice he looks very different to all the seals we've met so far. He's a very small seal, he's only about 3 years old, and he's only weighing about 40 kilograms at the moment. You also notice that he does have that beautiful double layer of fur of the New Zealand fur seal. And that's just because their size isn't as big as a sea lion, so they don't have enough blubber to keep them warm. So instead they have that double layer of fur, an outer layer to keep their inner layer dry, and an inner layer that will keep them nice and warm. Everybody, let's make Abel welcome. Now while Abel's moving around, you might notice that shark bite on the left side of his body. As Abel grows up, that scar will never completely go away, but as he grows, the scar will probably stay the same size and be less noticeable. Now everybody, it's just really important that while Abel is out here, that everybody stays nice and seated. Nobody tries and reaches out and tries to touch him. We want this to be just as a positive experience for Abel as it is for all of you. So while he's moving around, let's all stay calm and it can be good for everybody. The door that Abel came out of in the first place will be left open for the entirety of the walk, and that's because Abel knows that if he ever feels uncomfortable or nervous at any time, he's simply allowed to take himself home and end the encounter at any point. Now, while Abel's moving around, you'll notice just how easily a fur seals are able to move on the ground. In fact, fur seals and sea lions are able to outrun us over short distances on land. That's because they are eared seals. Eared seals are a part of the family Pinniped, and in that family there's 3 categories. They're eared seals, true seals, and walruses. All the seals you've seen so far are eared seals, and they can be noticed by their notable earlobe on the side and their ability to move on the land using all 4 flippers. True seals, on the other hand, which include your leopard seals and your harbour seals, don't have any notable earlobes, and they're not able to move along on the ground as easily as eared seals. They move on the ground more like slugs or frogs. Is a sensitive nerve ending that helps seals hunt in dark and murky waters. Noted in the wild, the completely blind seals have still been able to hunt due to those incredible whiskers.
He's going over there with the. Can you see the people in the
Following
green
his feet,
jackets?
does he?
Down your mouth, Ellen. He's going to go down those stairs. Oh no, he's going to go.
Now, as I mentioned, Abel is a New Zealand fur seal, and so as the name suggests, they are found around the New Zealand waters. However, they're also the most common seal species found here in Sydney waters. As seen in Abel's case when he was found on Kurnell Beach, that's not a random place for New Zealand fur seals to be found. They are found in waters around those areas. But we really do appreciate everybody coming down to Seal Theatre and Taronga today. Stay where you are, our keepers and our seals will be coming out to say their final farewell. After the show ends, we ask that you all stay nice and seated, and our guest experience staff can move you in a safe, COVID-safe way. Now remember, there is something that you can do to help all seals in the wild. Sadly, we have been overfishing our oceans, and it has been fun. And seals in the wild have been finding it harder and harder to find their next meal. But of course, next time you go shopping, just choose sustainable seafood, such as that marked with the MSC blue fish stick that you can see to the right of me. By purchasing seafood with this MSC fish stick, you're ensuring the fish you're buying comes from a fishery that protects fish stocks, jobs, and the environment, and you're ensuring the future for seals all around the world. But I really do thank you for coming and joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day at Taronga here, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.